You are listening to The Hayley Osborne Show with me, Hayley, your host. This is your place to learn how to become the superhero marketer in your business, to become the number one in your local community, both online and your surrounding areas. Every week, I'll be teaching you how you can achieve the best out of your marketing, your business, and be the most fearless superhero version of yourself. Small business owners are the backbone of the economy, and I'm here to demystify local area marketing to help you reach more customers. Between myself from South Australia and my wildly inspiring guests from across the world, I'm so excited to discuss all things marketing your business with you. I believe in you, so let's get started. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to another episode of the Hayley Osborne Show. I'm Hayley, and I am so glad that you are here today listening with me wherever you are. This is episode 67, and today I'm talking about the importance of done is better than perfect for your small business. You would have heard me say this if you follow me on social media, and if you are part of my membership, you're probably smiling because this is something that I have in my welcome kit that goes out to you. So before we get started on this episode, I want to give a shout out to a new small business cheat sheet I've made. It's not just any old cheat sheet. It is specifically for you, the small business owner. So if you have a small business, then this is for you. So one thing I've found that's kept coming up over and over with my private clients and inside my membership is that small business owners do not understand exactly what they need to be including and doing within their Instagram account, basically to have it fully optimized. And more often than not, you're so close to your business and your socials that you can't see it anymore, and you can't see what you're missing because you think it looks good because you always look at it. It's the same as, when you move a piece of furniture in your house, it's just like, oh, change is like a holiday. This feels nice. So it's the same as with your social media. You just can't see what it needs anymore. This is really common. So it's not something that you should worry about, but you should think about and really see it for what it is. So this cheat sheet is free, and it covers exactly what you need on your business and in your business's Instagram account to optimize the absolute bejesus out of it, what works and what you should be including. It's my small business Instagram cheat sheet, and you can grab it over on my website, which is hayleyosborne.com. You can't miss it. It's right at the top. I have a bit of a blocked nose for some reason, so excuse me as I record this episode, but I have my voice, which is awesome. So I recall a couple of weeks ago, I completely lost my voice. And I guess this is a byproduct of having little children who are a bit germy sometimes. And when they sneeze in your face, this is what happens. I never ever had any problems before I had kids. And then it's just like they're little germaphobes. Anyway, so what this cheat sheet, I love to digress, but I love, it's nice banter. That's what a podcast is all about. It's about learning about your host and learning, all the things. We're here for a great story, right? So, but education is one of my highest values. So this is what I'm here to teach you. So what this cheat sheet covers is how to absolutely optimize everything. Your account name, your posts, the top of your Instagram page, aesthetics, how to, pin posts, which a lot of people don't do, which I'm so shocked. So if you want this, head over to my website and you can download it very, very easily. It's a button at the top. You can't miss it. So let's get into today's episode. Why is it important for a small business owner to focus on getting things done rather than striving for perfection? As a small business owner, we know that it can be all too easy to get caught up in the pursuit of perfection. You want every detail to be just right, every decision to be flawless, and every product or service to be nothing short of absolutely impeccable. Am I right or am I right? This can be our downfall though. So while you're here striving for excellence and striving for perfection, And it's certainly commendable, don't get me wrong. It's important to remember that sometimes getting things done is more important than getting them done exactly right. After all, if you spend all your time perfecting one part of your business, you might miss out on key opportunities that you do not know that are around the corner, as well as, important deadlines that, God forbid, you forget. By focusing on, your productivity and progress rather than your perfection, you can keep moving forward towards your goals and ultimately achieve more success in the long run. And that's what it's all about, is achieving more success in the long run. And when you get it done, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to go back and redo it. So take your website, for example. Take my website, for example. So when my business started, like over 5 years ago now, my website looked so different to what it does now. It has had maybe 3 big changes, and I am actually going through a change right now. The website is getting an update in the background. What happens is you just move and shake and, develop new things. And so like when my current website was originally built, I didn't have a podcast. And so then I got the podcast and I was like, we need another page added. So another page got added, and then, it morphed onto the home page and, and so on and so forth. And I added other pages, and it just started to look like a bit of a dog's breakfast. And there was no theming throughout anymore. I mean, if you look at it, you'll be like, Hayley, you're crazy. It looks great. But I know that it can look better. And so here we are. If I had waited, God, I probably would never have started a business because I'd be waiting on my website. So just know done is better than perfect. So, you'll always change things, and we are focusing on productivity and progress rather than perfection. So there are benefits in done is better than perfect thinking. And I'm all around this, and I'm all about sharing it with you. So you can increase productivity and efficiency. As a small business owner, increasing your productivity and efficiency is one of the biggest parts to achieving success. I have read a book recently by a billionaire in the States, and it was a New York Times best-selling book, and there's typos in the book. And he says, I think it is in the foreword or the conclusion somewhere. So he's rewritten it at some point, like another version, but he hasn't adjusted the internal. And he said, if I had waited for this to be perfect, I never would have had a New York Times bestseller. If I had waited. So, and this guy is making multiple 8 figures, probably every month. So, that's just like a classic example of efficiency is essential to achieving success. Not only does it lead to happier customers as well, and more profit, it allows for more free time for you to focus on other important aspects of your business. So if you really try and prioritize how productive you are and how efficient you can be, you can streamline the way that you operate to really max your resources to the max, which breeds growth and success. And I try and do this every single day in my business. I could have not recorded this podcast right now because I have a bit of a blocked nose and whatever. But then we would have gone a week without a podcast. And I don't want that. So here we are. And I don't sound that badly, I hope. So another one. More time to focus on important tasks. I kind of said this already, but time is money. And we all know that. So every minute that you spend on a menial task is another moment that could have been devoted to expanding your business, to networking. Every time that you check your emails in the day is a time that you could spend expanding your business and doing something else, writing an article to be published somewhere, something like that. When really you don't need to check your emails every second of the day. I don't even have my email notifications turned on anymore. I check them in the morning, I check them at lunch, and I check them before I sign off for the night. And that is it. I don't have them on my phone. And it has increased my productivity tenfold. So, that's why the benefits of having more time to focus on the important tasks cannot be overstated at all. And, by delegating as well, you'll be free to really direct your energy to what matters, telling your story. That is what matters. Storytelling creates sales. Direct your energy to innovate, to create new products, to add new things into your repertoire. So like for me, for example, and I love to give practical examples to you, is I'm going to be running a workshop soon. There we go. I said it. I'm just locating the venue. I'll be finalizing that this week. So, I just love to move through things, and that's how I have gotten to where I am right now, strategizing and growing your business. So not only will you feel so much more productive, but you'll also have a renewed sense of purpose and drive. And when you get things done, quietly the positive endorphins and serotonin, I think that's what it is, run through your body. And you can feel it too when you tick things off. You're like, wow, that feels really good. I feel lighter. I feel so proud that I got that task done. And now I can move on to the next thing. So ultimately, I know that the small businesses who choose to prioritize their time will reap the rewards of long-term success, but it takes practice, but practice makes perfect. Another benefit in the done is better than perfect thinking is that it helps to reduce stress. It really does. And this has been proven. So in a world that emphasizes perfectionism, and it so does, especially with social media, the idea of done is better than perfect can seem, I guess, a bit counterintuitive, but this way of thinking can bring about a multitude of benefits. So firstly, it encourages your progress and the momentum at which you progress. So when we focus on finishing a task to the best of our ability instead of endlessly perfecting it, we are able to move on to the next thing and make more progress overall. And that, you would know that some days you flow through things easier, other days you procrastinate. But it can also reduce the stress and anxiety that is associated with you wanting to perfect things. So by accepting that something's not perfect, but it's still good enough, can help to avoid the buildup of stress and self-doubt that you would get over time. It's like the anticipation of not getting it done or having that thing looming over your head. You start to get that self-doubt come in. Whereas if you get it done straight away, if you dread sprint through it, if it's done, then the opportunity for self-doubt to come into your world doesn't happen. Everyone goes through that, but it's how quickly you move through it to get to the other side that counts. So lastly, the mindset, and this type of mindset can lead to more accomplishment. And when you feel like you're accomplished, and you have the satisfaction that you're able to complete more tasks, this is a real pride moment, a real pride and proud moment. And by adopting a done is better than perfect approach, it can help you be more productive. It can help you be less stressed, and it can help you feel more fulfilled in your business and your future goals. Okay, so another tip for implementing done is better than perfect thinking is, I think it's really important to prioritize tasks based on importance and urgency. So for you, the small business owner, time is such a precious commodity. And oh my goodness, add a small business owner with young children, it is such a commodity and it must be used wisely. But I know that with endless tasks that pile up, and the to-do list gets long, it can be really challenging to prioritize what needs to be done. It's so critical to have a bit of a framework for figuring out what's urgent, what's important, and what can wait. Everyone has their own version of what this looks like. And I don't think there's only one way to do something. I think there's lots of different ways to do this. And I've spoken about the way I keep my list and my calendar. I have a few things going at once, and how that looks. I've spoken about this in a different episode, but I've read about how other people do it, and I think, that's a great idea. I'll try and do it like that, but I always end up doing it my way. And I think whatever works for you, keep doing it. But just take little learnings along the way of what other people do as well. And you might be able to help yourself to prioritize tasks and what's important and what's urgent and what can wait. So once you identify, I guess, what bucket these your tasks fit into out of those 3 categories, you can really tackle the daily to-do list more effectively. So remember that not all urgent tasks are important, and not all important tasks are urgent. Crazy. I'll repeat that. Not all urgent tasks are important, and not all important tasks are urgent. By focusing on what matters most, you can increase your productivity, take control of your time, which time is money, and move closer to achieving your goals. And we all have the goals. We all have those goals. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Sorry, and I'm not going to cut that out because right now for me to do that would be more time editing, and I don't need to do that. So you'll be so much more surprised, I think, on how much you could accomplish in a day. Another one, so if you can delegate simple tasks to free up more of your time for those complex tasks, that is, you are onto a winner. It can be really overwhelming, especially when, deadlines are coming. So however, the simplest task that you can delegate to free up more of your time, it allows you to focus your energy in different places, especially growing your business. And, effective delegation means trusting your VA, trusting your virtual assistant, trusting your team, empowering them to take ownership of their work, and start by having a look at what tasks can be delegated and ship them out. You'll feel so much better for it. That's what I do. And I want you to remember that delegation isn't a sign of weakness. All right. It is not. It's a strategic move to max your potential and drive your business forward. So another thing is to set realistic goals around this and timelines. So we're all guilty of this as business owners. Setting realistic goals and timelines can make a huge difference to your success. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of big dreams and grand plans, but without a clear roadmap, and a lot of business owners don't, those dreams can quickly turn into massive frustration and disappointment because we didn't have a clear path on how to get there. So a realistic timeline and a realistic goal will help break down your big picture goals into smaller, more manageable steps to achieve the big ones. So consider the timeline and resources needed for each step, and be sure to build in some flexibility, right? Because that's something that is really important. And remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. So by setting realistic goals and timelines, you'll gain the clarity and focus necessary to build a thriving business. So don't let the fear of failure hold you back. It's important to take that first step. Do it today. Do it as soon as you get back to your office. Remember me in your ears. And another thing, don't be afraid to ask for help. And this sort of tacks into what I said earlier, but it can be challenging. And when you're faced with a problem that you can't solve, that can be even more challenging. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. I said that before. It's so true. And it takes all the stress off of you. You walk taller and you feel less, tight in your shoulders. So whether you turn to a friend, whether you turn to a mentor, an expert in your field, your VA, your assistant, seeking advice and guidance can make you make better decisions, make you not make costly mistakes, and help you achieve your goals quicker. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Help comes in so many different formats. It could be investing in a cleaner, outsourcing your laundry, having someone come and do your gardening. I have a couple of those things that help me. I don't do it all on my own with 2 little kids. Help with the kids. That's huge. I don't do it all on my own either. Help comes in so many different shapes and sizes. So freeing up one area means that you can focus on the needle moving things, and they're the big things. So guys, done is better than perfect when it comes to running your small business. It is so much better than perfect because it allows you to focus on the important things, get more done in less time, and reduce your stress. These are all big things for small businesses. We don't want to be stressed. We started a business for what reason? To feel free, to have a greater impact, to not have a glass ceiling, not to be stressed. So try and think, have me in your ears, know done is better than perfect, and it will reduce your stress. Haley says, it's so true. So by following my awesome tips, guys, you can make sure you don't get stuck in the perfectionism mindset and instead focus on getting things done. What are you waiting for? Get out there and get stuff done, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you next week for another episode of The Haley Osborne Show. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. If you have, hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Tuesday. And while you're there, leave me a review. I would absolutely love to read it. Also, don't forget to tag me at Haley K Osborne, HAYLEYK OSBORNE over on Instagram, and share this podcast with your audience so they can get learning too. If you want more, head over to haleyosborne.com.au/podcast for today's show notes and links. I've also got an awesome free ebook, a new one, waiting for you on my website, The 10 Essentials Every Local Area Marketing Plan Needs. And I will catch you next week for another episode of The Haley Osborne Show.